first thing you see when an NFL team comes running out of their locker rooms is their helmets. While each team's helmet has a reputation based off how good they are currently, some teams, good or bad, just look scarier on the field. A lot of NFL teams' traditional helmets don't have that trait, however, so a Photoshop user known online as Ultimate Effects has remade each NFL helmet to make them look just a little bit better. Well, today, we'll be ranking all 32 of those helmets. First up, we have the just wild helmets. I don't know what he was thinking when making these helmets, but they just do not look good at all. First with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and what are they doing, bro? Why is its mouth open like that? It looks like Pac-Man like that. It looks like an unzipped leopard skin jacket like that. I don't know what he was thinking with this design, but ugh. After that, we have the Commanders, and honestly, even if they still were the Redskins, there is minimal effort on this helmet, and there's just nothing good about it, really. After that, we have the Los Angeles Chargers, and I don't know what he was going at with this helmet. First of all, they switched colors a long time ago, they're not dark blue anymore. This looks like Michigan. And also, what are they doing with these two lightning bolts? They're just like awkwardly positioned right next to each other. There's just nothing good about this helmet. After that's the Minnesota Vikings, and what is going on here, man? This is like an AI generated image just pasted onto their helmet. You gotta put some more effort than ChatGPT into these helmets. After that, we have the Saints helmet, and why is the logo so far back? I know they're falling farther behind in their division, but why is their logo falling back too? The black helmet would be a good design too, which makes it tough to put it this low, but it just doesn't look good. After that, we have the too basic category for helmets. All of these, there's just not enough changed with them to make them stand out. Starting off with the Giants, and it's pretty much just their helmet now, except with a blue face mask and no red line across the top, and honestly, it doesn't even look that good. There's just no point in it. Following that, we have the Falcons, and I thought this was the same helmet that they're using now, but then I realized, oh, maybe they changed the face mask color a little bit and enlarged the logo, but like, there's just not enough different from the actual helmet to make it stand out. After that, we have the Buccaneers, and it's kind of the same story, except now the logo is twice the size of the helmet, but it's just not very different from the actual helmet. Following that is the Jets, and they use the different Jets logo, but honestly, the helmet just looks boring. There's not much that sticks out about it, and you could do a lot better. After that, we have the Buffalo Bills, and the blue helmet, it's alright, I guess, but the logo does not need to be 4 times the size of the helmet. I'm sure it could look good on some helmet, but this is not it. After that, we have the major flaw helmets. Each one of these just has something that sticks out that just makes it weird. First up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, and if white was a bigger part of their color scheme, I guess, but it looks a little weird how there's just a bunch of white on top of their helmet, and I don't know if they're like trying to be the Wisconsin Badgers or something, but it's just odd. Following that's the San Francisco 49ers, and an all-black helmet for the 49ers just doesn't look good in my opinion. Plus, it would just look ridiculous on top of their uniforms they have now. You just can't get rid of the gold. Then we have the Browns. It's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great. It's better than the helmet they have now, I guess. After that is the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm not gonna lie, I like the all blue helmet design they've got going here, but this white stripe is just throwing me off. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a shooting star or something, though honestly that would make a lot more sense once you realize that the Cowboys also tend to crash and burn. Overall, it's just a weird looking helmet. Following that's the Bears with the same issue. They've just got some weird line in here, and I would make a shooting star joke about this one, but you kind of have to be up high in order to crash and burn in the first place. After that is the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think a Bengals logo on a black helmet would be an interesting idea, but once again, the logo is 10 times the size of the helmet. You can barely tell what's going on, and if I'm being honest, it kind of looks like a Frosted Flakes commercial. After that, we have the Las Vegas Raiders, and the black helmet design kind of looks cool, but when you invert it down in the bottom, there's just way too much going on, and it doesn't look great. And after that, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would really like a black and yellow helmet, actually, but the logo doesn't need to be 17 times the size of the helmet. Next up, we have the OK helmets. There's not too much wrong with any of these helmets, but they're just not terribly exciting. First up, we have the Houston Texans. The red and blue basic logo design, I like it. It looks pretty cool, but I think it would be cool if the right side of the logo is white like usual. Other than that, it's okay. After that, there's the Miami Dolphins, and I like their white helmets now. I don't think they should go to a blue helmet. That's the only reason this helmet's pretty low. Maybe an alternate would look alright, but definitely not a starting helmet. Following that, the New England Patriots, and this one would actually be a good starting helmet for them. I like the blue helmet better than the gray helmet design, and I think it would look pretty cool. After that's the Seattle Seahawks, and there is a lot going on in this helmet. I kind of like this design they have going down the side here, but the eye is just throwing me off a bit, and also, I don't really like seagulls, because one time I was at a beach, and a seagull came down and stole my sandwich, and I was not too happy about that. So that's why I'm going to leave this helmet here. After that is the Eagles helmet, and this one would be cooler if it had a darker shade of green. I kind of like the Eagle, even though it is 25 times the size of the helmet. I think it looks alright. And finally, we have the Los Angeles Rams helmet. This one is probably only this high because I liked back when they had their white helmets, and I think it would look pretty cool if they had it with the right jerseys. I could do without this Ram in the middle here. He's just kind of poking his head through. Overall, it's just an okay helmet. After that, we have the great helmets. Each of these helmets, I'm not saying they should be starting helmets, but they definitely could go with some alternate helmets and would look pretty cool. First up, we have the Indianapolis Colts, and this one would be a really good starting helmet for them, actually. I don't like their white helmets with the gray face mask they've got going now. It just doesn't look good at all. The blue helmet looks a lot better, and the paint splatter looks pretty decent on top of it. After that, we've got the Packers helmet, and this one's kind of a hit or miss one. There is a lot going on in this helmet, and kind of looks like SpongeBob with all these holes. There's more holes on this thing than in the Packers run defense, and I don't really know how I feel about it, but I think it looks pretty decent, so I left it right here. After that, we have the Detroit Lions helmet, and I like the idea of a blue face mask on their helmets. It would look pretty cool. The simple logo design, I could do with it or without it. It doesn't bother me. The only reason it's not higher is because this weird blue they've got on the back cutting off his legs. It makes sense because the Lions are usually the ones cutting their legs out from beneath them to lose football games, but it's a decent helmet nevertheless. After that, we have the Arizona Cardinals, and the logo may be 32 times the size of the helmet, but it looks alright. I like the black helmet with the red face mask. I like it better than the white helmets they've got now, and I think it would look pretty cool as an alternate helmet for them. And finally, after that, we have the Denver Broncos, and I like the simple design they've got going here with just the outline of the Bronco, and I also like, it's kind of hard to tell, but there are mountains in the background which goes along the bottom of the helmet, which I just think looks cool. Plus the Broncos color scheme, orange and blue, it just looks pretty cool, and so that's why it stays up here. Now, finally, we have the top 3 helmets. These helmets are the best helmets on this list, and I think all of them should be alternate helmets for these teams, if not the starting helmets. Coming in at number 3, we have the Baltimore Ravens, and usually I'm not a huge fan of the helmets with the giant B on it rather than the Raven logo, but I just like the mix of black and purple they've got going on here, and the yellow just fits in nicely, and there's just nothing wrong with this helmet. Coming in at number 2, we have the Tennessee Titans, and there's just something about the Titans logo and motto that just makes it easy to make custom designs of all their stuff. The sword with the shield emblem just looks really cool, plus you add in the navy and gray colors, which just fit together really nicely, and I really like this helmet, leaving it at number 2. And finally, the best helmet of all of these 32 custom NFL helmets is the Carolina Panthers. Now, this helmet, I think they need to switch to immediately. I mean, the NFL helmet that they use right now is quite possibly the worst one in the entire NFL, and I really think a black helmet would look cool. The blue face mask on top makes it look really nice. Obviously, the logo is 47 times the size of the helmet, but then you go down to the back of the helmet and there's just these hexagons here. I don't know where you came up with this design, but it actually looks pretty cool, and I think they need to switch to this helmet immediately. Maybe then they'll be scary enough to start winning some more games. And so that is all 32 of my rankings for these custom NFL helmets. Be sure to go check out Custom Designs. I'm sure he spent a lot of time on these helmets, and if you would subscribe, that would help me out so much more than you would think. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.